fellow bookworms, to Tibera's Den. I have another Throwback Thursday for you guys. But first, happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I'm actually, excuse the camera, the dogs are milling about, knocking the table, but I'm actually not celebrating till Saturday. So my family's coming in today though. They're traveling today and then we're gonna celebrate on Saturday. But I absolutely love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday, and I chose this book just because there's something about it that makes me think of holidays and such. And so I chose The Giver for Throwback Thursday. This is one, of course, most of you are probably familiar with, and I'm going to go ahead and get into my thoughts on this one in just a second and revisiting it now as an adult. But before I do, just a reminder, our book of the month for December is going to be Jackie Collins' Lady Boss. We are going to be starting that, or this book, next, or this coming Monday rather. And so there was nothing that we read this week as far as book of the month stuff, but I hope you will join me for this. We just finished up Obsidian Butterfly. Definitely check out those videos. And we also do a weekly read every Wednesday. We just read Lost and Found by Jacqueline Sheehan. This video came out yesterday. It's a long one, but I hope you will watch it because, again, I picked this one for Thanksgiving specifically. Labs are super important to me, but there's a lot that goes into this book, and I think it was a good one for Thanksgiving. So I hope you'll check out that video. Like I said, that was out yesterday. And we also do different bonus videos. We have a series Saturday that I was doing every Saturday. That's going to kind of change. I took a little bit of a break. We do the ABC Author Challenge. Those videos have been coming out pretty regularly. Absolutely been enjoying that challenge, and I can't wait to do more videos on that. But let's go ahead and get into The Giver. So, of course, like I said, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this one. It is about Jonas, and he lives in this community, which everything's kind of the same. They have pretty strict rules, and everything gets chosen for them and everything like that. Like they're guided in every step of the way, and he gets to receive the memories. And so the giver is obviously giving him these memories that he's held for this community for many, many years. So, um, but yeah, I think I read this when I was in school. I think elementary school, like sixth grade or something. I can't remember exactly. And fell in love with it. I have reread it, several times throughout the years. And I've seen the movie. I did not enjoy the movie all that much, but rereading it, it reminded me just why I love this book so much and why I connected to it. And I did mark a couple pages, not too many. So I'm going to go ahead and read the pages I marked first, and then I'll talk a little bit more. But the first one I marked is on page 45, and it's talking about the child that lives next door to them getting his bike. And it talks about how he was a very awkward child. His name is Fritz, and he had been summoned for chastisement again and again. Her transgressions were small ones, always shoes on the wrong feet, schoolwork misplaced, failure to study adequately for a quiz. But each such failure reflected negatively on his parents' guidance. And I marked that part just because, I don't know, as somebody who is autistic and doesn't fit into the neurotypical world, like, even though there's a lot of choice and a lot of diversity, there's still like certain rules that you kind of follow in society, and I don't fit those rules. And so I felt really bad for Fritz in particular because there's no way for him to succeed because everything's so cookie cutter. Like there's no way for him to thrive and really succeed. Um and so he's always going to be kind of that awkward kid that doesn't quite fit in. And then the other one I marked is page 122, and I think this is why this book makes me think so much of like Thanksgiving and the holidays and such. And it's when the giver gives Jonas his favorite memory, and it's the family around the Christmas tree and such. Um, and I marked that page again. Like I said, I think that really captures. For me, I've always liked Thanksgiving more because that's when I have the memories of my family really coming together and sharing the meal together versus Christmas. And so I think that's why I've always liked Thanksgiving more than Christmas, is because to me, Christmas is more like your immediate family, where Thanksgiving, you have like your whole group that really comes together. At least in my family, it's kind of been that way. And going to visit grandma and grandpa was more on Thanksgiving than on Christmas and such. And so yeah, I really think that's why when I was thinking what book I want to read for Throwback Thursday on Thanksgiving, that's why I chose this book, because that favorite memory and that feeling of family and love and just hominess. um but yeah, I think rereading this book, as short and simple as it is, there is a certain depth to it. And especially where Jonas learns about like war, and then he goes and the kids are playing war, and it kind of showcases like it's a coming of age story for sure. And it showcases kind of that loss of innocence he has. Like he didn't understand that game until he received that memory, and now there's like this certain heaviness to it. And his friends just think he's like this big party pooper because he's like, we're not playing this game, and he's just like standing there ruining the game. But they don't understand like he can, and he even mentions that. um and I don't know, I just, even reading it now, I still found the story really really enjoyable. um and I just wanted to keep reading. My husband brought me dinner, and I was just like reading. I was like, I gotta finish it before I could eat, even though I was really hungry. And yeah, I think this definitely stands, you know, the passage of time, at least in my opinion. And I've never actually read anything else by her that I can recall. I know she's written some other books, but um, I definitely, like I said, most people are familiar with this book. But if for some reason you aren't, I would say you should pick it up. And it just highlights like why, even though on the surface, like even Jonas says, like, oh, it's important, like they keep us safe, like the memory with the fire and everything around Christmas. So like, I can understand how that could be dangerous because you have a fire inside and the candles and such. And I can understand how that could be dangerous. And so like on the surface, it's like, oh yeah, having everything just so is a good thing. But he realizes it's not, like it doesn't account for everything else. And yes, there's pain, and yes, there's suffering, but those are kind of necessary to understand the good and appreciate that. And what about like when they're gonna say bye bye to Gabriel, like just because he can't sleep through the night? Like I don't know, it really touched a different chord now that I can understand it better as an adult. And obviously doing this for a YouTube video and really processing what I was reading, it hits differently than it did when I was like a kid and when I've revisited it in the past, because I understand the depth of it a lot more. So definitely recommend if you've never read it. I don't understand how anybody hasn't read it, especially because I think a lot of schools use this as reading. But I would say definitely read it, or if you have kids, um, this is one to read with them and discuss with them for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys here. We're gonna get back to our horse books next week, so I hope you will join me next week. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and give this video a like. Likes and comments are the best way that you can support this channel. And yeah, happy reading, everyone. Bye and happy Thanksgiving.